I think the movie still gets a thumbs up.
Oh, okay. All right. Suck on that, Cody.
Hey there, thanks for stopping in to Night Shift Video. My name is James, and tonight I'm joined by this guy over here.
Danny.
Danny, how are you doing tonight?
Super duper. Super happy. Love to be here. Thanks for having me back.
It
Glad
is
to be a part of the show.
Scary Movie Monday.
Love Scary Movie Monday.
We've been doing Scary Movie Monday for over 3 years now.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
I know.
But I absolutely believe you.
It's become a weird thing. Probably a whole year ago, have I realized that I have watched probably more scary movies with you and Cody specifically, because you were the OG Scary Movie Monday crew. I probably watched more movies with you two than I have any other person in the world.
Oh, that's absolutely true. I'd have to imagine that's absolutely true for any of us.
It's kind of crazy though, right?
Yes.
Just strange.
It's flattering.
We've watched well over 200 at
I've
this
seen
point.
over 200 movies with you.
I know. That was every once in a while I watch some random videos of The Office on YouTube, and there's this big debate about this one line that Dwight delivers when he's talking to, I believe, Andy. It is Andy, because Andy says, "Oh, when they're talking about their job titles and like who's higher."
Director.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's
Yep.
like, "Well, a director is the highest ranking on a film set. Do you know anything about film?"
Yep.
And Dwight responds with, "I know everything about film. I've seen over 240 of them." And like, there's all this like conversation about like how Dwight has seen all these movies, and I'm like, guys, 240 is not a lot. Most of you have seen 10 times that amount, probably. Maybe not 10 times. I've probably seen 10 times that amount.
Oh, yeah.
I've watched 240 movies in like 2 years.
Yeah. Every time I hear that line, I'm like, oh, wow, that's a significant. Wait, no.
Nope.
No.
It's a very small number, and that's the joke.
Yep.
I know everything about film. I've seen over 240 of them.
It really takes a second to
It's like,
lean.
oh, that's
It's
really not a
hilarious.
lot of movies.
It's perfect joke. Love it.
Yep. Whenever the Office Ladies ever gets there, we'll find out who wrote that joke, I'm sure.
Chop.
Yeah. Also a good podcast if you like The Office. Listen to Office Ladies.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. So tonight we watched the Banana Splits movie
Yes.
because tonight is co-host pick night and it's Danny's pick.
Yes, it was. Super excited about this movie. I've been avoiding everything about it since its release. Didn't want to know anything about it until I watched it.
Yep.
And I'm super glad to have watched it now.
We watched it. So I guess before I give us our back of the box, why was this your pick?
I have come to realize that my childhood cartoon watching experience was not the same as many of my peers.
Mm-hmm.
And my cartoon watching history included a lot of Hanna-Barbera and Boomerang.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, they still showed reruns of the original Banana Splits.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. It was stupid and ridiculous. And I was old enough to know it, but it still drew me in.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. I loved the intro songs. It was, little backstory of the show if you haven't seen it. It was a variety show for kids. Usually they did some silly crap and then they played a cartoon. And the cartoons were ridiculous and dumb and very typical Hanna-Barbera. But then they also had live action shows in it, and it was just so weird.
Yeah.
And really stuck out amongst all the other Hanna-Barbera
In my mind, it's kind of like the Muppets was really popular.
Yeah.
Like the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
The actual Muppet Show.
Mm-hmm,
And Hanna-Barbera was like, oh, we can make something like that.
Yeah. They're like, we make something like that, but we don't really care if adults are interested at all. And we don't really need celebrity guests at all. We'll just make 4 silly people in a costume and some cartoons.
Yep.
Boom. Done.
Yep.
and it was great. And I looked it up today. There's only 31 episodes.
Wow.
There's 2 seasons.
Now,
and I thought it was like this long-running show because I just watched the reruns over and over and over and over.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen an actual episode, but I was familiar enough with the characters to recognize them. I didn't know their names and stuff, but like I'd seen them before, catching a little something on Boomerang or like in an advertisement or something like that. Like, so I think that a lot of people, you know, our age and younger might not have any idea who these characters even are.
Not a clue.
Which I think we're not getting to our review yet, but I think that it just, from an outside perspective, that already just puts the movie in kind of this weird place of like, who is it for?
Right.
It's for a very select few millennials who watched Boomerang as a kid instead of watching modern cartoons.
Yeah, and I feel like even that is pretty minimal.
Yeah.
It's such a freaking eye of a needle.
It's a niche of a niche of a niche.
Yes.
And
I don't quite understand it myself, honestly. I love the Banana Splits, but
sure. And you like horror movies, and so seeing a spooky Banana Splits movie sounds great, right?
Of course. But
all right. Well, let's read our back of the box here. So,
Please.
A boy named Harley and his family, they attend a taping of the Banana Splits TV show, which is supposed to be a fun-filled birthday for young Harley and business as usual for Rebecca, the producer of the series. But things take an unexpected turn, and the body count quickly rises. Can Harley, his mom, and their new pals safely escape? We'll find out on the next Banana Splits. To the Banana Splits.
To the Banana Splits. Tra la 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 la.
Banana. God. I just wanted like Jaws music anytime the car was on screen. Okay. And we are back with our thoughts on the Banana Splits movie. That's the actual title. The Banana Splits movie. So I don't have a lot of Did You Know, because there's not a lot of stuff out there. Most of the stuff is just, it's based off of Banana Splits Adventure Hour.
Yep, and now here's all these Did You Knows about the Banana Splits. So yeah, it's not about the movie at all.
Right.
No.
So there's that. And then, you know, obviously that movie was not a horror movie. The show.
The show.
Yeah, Adventure Hour was not a horror movie.
Yes.
It's not scary at all, really. Not supposed to be, at least.
Yes.
Right. So the interesting thing about this movie is you can't not bring up the Five Nights at Freddy's comparison.
It's impossible. And I hate it. I hate that comparison. But I do feel like this entire movie was somebody like me who really liked the Banana Splits when they were a kid, whether they were the original airings or the reruns. And then somebody told that guy about Five Nights at Freddy. And he was like, yeah, okay, I'll make that a movie. Sure, of course.
Well, from what I understand, and the digging that I was able to dig, is that Five Nights at Freddy's, a script at one point was shopped to WB, and they did not greenlight the movie before they lost the chance to license Five Nights at Freddy's as an intellectual property. And so they still had this script just kind of kicking around, collecting dust. And somebody said, well, what properties does WB have a trademark for? Being Hanna-Barbera and the Banana Splits.
Oh my gosh. I still don't get it. Maybe I missed something as a kid, but like when I watched the show as a kid, at no point did I think, look at these robot animals. Like,
I don't get it.
Those are robots.
I don't know why it's animatronic.
We were the prime age of Chuck E.
Cheese, Showbiz Pizza,
Major Magics. It's like that's what I knew. And at no point in my life did I ever think, yeah, Chuck E. Cheese the robot is the same thing as Fleagle.
Right.
Never.
I don't
Never
know.
Once.
I don't know why they decided to make that connection. I guess it was simply because that's the thing. That's the thing, though. So, like, I was like, oh, it's because they had a Five Nights at Freddy's thing, and Five Nights at Freddy's is really popular. Well, hey, let's use a character that we do have the rights to and basically do the same story that we were going to do anyway, and, like, just call it a day. And, like, okay, that kind of makes sense, but if you're going to rewrite it enough to include all of these actual Banana Splits throwbacks, like what was the car, the banana bug?
The banana buggy.
The banana buggy, you're going to include that. You're going to include all these different settings, like the magic shop and the carnival and all these other stuff. Yeah, you took the time to do all that. Why not just write out the animatronic part and just make them people in a suit who go crazy and start killing people?
I wouldn't hate that. And,
It'd be fine.
And I would say at the same time, as a kid, like, yes, I understood these were costumed characters.
Uh-huh.
But it was like going to Chuck E. Cheese. You never thought, this character is a person in a suit. It was just, that's what they were.
Right.
This was the character. This was the being. It's not a robot. It's not a person in a suit. It's just, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And they just
real hard with this
robots.
Robotic technology android thing. And I don't know why.
I don't know why. But okay.
Yeah.
If that's what it takes.
So essentially what happens is this family goes to this live taping of Banana Splits. Banana Splits, all the characters happen to be animatronics for some reason, but they're super advanced animatronics that, like, go out on stage and perform by themselves. Like, it doesn't even make sense in the world of Five Nights at Freddy's, because Five Nights at Freddy's based off of Showbiz Pizza or Chuck E. Cheese, where, like, they didn't walk around. Like, that was the point. That's why Five Nights at Freddy's is scary, is because the animatronics are walking around. They're not supposed to be able to. Yeah, they're supposed to be stuck on a pole on stage. Like, so, I don't know.
Yeah. And the show, even in the canon of the movie itself, they still debuted in the 60s.
Yeah, which is also strange.
And robotics were so far advanced at that point that the show debuted.
It's been running since 1969 nonstop.
Yeah. Yes. It was so weird. And
It's weird. It's definitely a low budget movie. It debuted at Comic-Con and then very shortly after got its Blu-ray release. So essentially the closest thing that we have today to a direct to video is basically what it got. But it's super niche and it's weird, and I love giving money and supporting anytime a big studio like WB allows its characters to be used in something this bizarre.
Yeah.
Because it just, like, I don't know, in my mind it just promotes, like, hey, let's think out of the box and not just make the same thing over and over and over again. This is really, really weird. Let's give it a try. Like,
yeah.
You know, it's probably not going to be groundbreaking or, like, win any awards, but, like,
definitely not.
Maybe it'll be kind of fun and it'll be super weird.
Yes.
So the quality of the film in general, like, acting and even just, like, the camera work and things, like, it felt like I was watching a really good short.
Yeah.
And the movie's it's less than an hour and a half long.
Yeah,
so
like a cheap YouTube short or something.
Yeah. Like every once in a while when we have a bummer night, we'll watch like horror shorts on YouTube. This whole movie felt like that. The melodrama of the family dynamics and
the cheating husband.
Yep.
That's bad.
All that
So
stuff
weird.
was pretty rough.
So unnecessary.
But you know what? I will say that I think that the horror parts, the gory parts, the kills were pretty entertaining for the most part.
They really were. Honestly, the only thing I would say about those was the practical effects of them looked really bad.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Some of them, yeah.
Like guy who got cut in half. When they I love they pulled him in half.
It looks so cheap.
It
looks so cheap
and bad.
Yeah.
But the ideas of the kills and the actual action of the happening and the tension they built with it, they were good.
Yeah. Yeah. So like whenever we like see the organ spilling out and stuff, like
so bad.
it's not like Dawn of the Dead
No.
organ spilling out. It's
No,
like
not even
a couple
close.
little silly string entrails. Like, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they did look bad. But I don't know, man. They also kind of look like they might have been purposefully bad. So
Could be.
I just don't know. I don't know if this was a budget and time thing, or if this was kind of an artistic choice of like, kind of like having an art style to their gore.
I don't know.
Of like,
I don't know if I would use the word artistic to describe any part of this movie, but maybe though.
So we get a lot of children being separated from their parents because of the animatronic robots, and then parents trying to rescue the children. Eventually, the robots tie all of the children up and perform in front of them, in which they do their performance routine, but
typical bits,
just very
murdery,
fucked up.
Yes.
Really the first big kill that we get was kind of a crazy shoving a giant lollipop down an actor's face, mouth, throat. And that's a pretty gross practical effect. Though it has
it was. That was a very good
stretchy neck and conformed to the shape of the lollipop. And so he's on stage.
Yep. They bring him back to
what's
the
left
stage,
of him is on stage.
Shove old Stevie back out on his old tricycle, and then burn him.
And then they set him on fire. Oh God. Now some of the funnier parts were after doing something horrendous. A lot of times the animatronic characters would react in a way, and so we have like a dancing moment or like a laughing moment. And I 100% think they stole that straight from Terrifier.
Oh,
really? I think.
I mean, it is. They could have, and that was certainly a really terrifying part of Terrifier,
right?
When he would do something and just laugh or show joy in what he was doing. But it's like, these are,
I get that,
robotic kids characters, and they're supposed to be joyful,
right?
And happy and dancing along, and it's like,
I get that,
just doing our bit, you know?
Yeah, I really think, because I mean, I felt like there was a lot. There just seemed to be a lot of miming, and like Art the Clown is 100% built off of miming. Like that's his whole shtick. Yeah. And now you have 4 characters performing that same shtick.
Yeah. And
like they never like seem to have full control over what they can say. It's like it seems like they're like pre-programmed phrases that come out of the robots.
They just kind of apply to a situation as best they can.
Yeah. But then at the same point, some of the things they say, it's like, well, why would they have had that programmed in there? Like, I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the times like when they locked him up, I called it out. I was like, why would he have that as a pre-programmed phrase that this is what he's going to say?
I was thinking about the one where Flegel said to Stevie if they burned him alive, he was like, "Oh, Stevie, smoking's bad for your health."
That's one too, for sure. Yeah, that's totally one.
Yep.
We have a dog with us.
Hey.
This is odd. This hasn't happened before. Okay. Anyway, that's Wrigley. He's fine. So I think something about a movie like this, especially since it kind of was like a direct-to-video type thing, you can't expect too much out of it. And I don't necessarily think that it under-delivers for what it is.
Yes.
I feel
like it exactly met my expectations.
That's a perfect way to say it.
Yes.
It's a perfect way to say it. Okay, well, let's go ahead and we'll take a break, and we'll get into our final thoughts.
Okay.
And we're back with our final thoughts on the Banana Splits movie. Are those your thoughts?
Yeah.
So I'll jump in. First of all, this is sitting at a 67% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Not bad.
Last I checked, which
not bad for
honestly,
the Tomateter.
It's not bad for the Tomateter meter.
No.
I am gonna say, for me, I think the movie still gets a thumbs up.
Oh, okay, all right. Suck on that, Cody.
Usually, whenever we have a third person viewing before they leave, I ask them for a tiebreaker vote just in case we have a tie. I guess that I already know what your vote's gonna be.
Oops.
But it's not a good movie.
No.
It's not a good movie. I don't even know if I would purchase it to own. But especially if it ever hits like a Hulu or Netflix streaming service, definitely give it a watch. It's very flawed. It's very poorly executed. But there are a couple moments which are really, really good. I liked the guy getting sawn in half. I think what this movie does is there's a thing that we do as horror movie fans, pretty much all of us that like horror movies, especially these like silly kind of slashery, cheap gore type movies. And that is when something starts to happen, we feel the buildup and we're like, oh, they're going to do this. Oh, do it. And for me, it was, they put Thad in the, in like the woman sawn in half magic trick box, and they're actually sawing him in half.
Yeah.
And I'm like, pull the box apart.
Yes.
You have to pull the box apart.
see it.
They got to pull the box apart.
That's the bit.
And I think a lot of times when you do that, when we do that as fans to a horror movie, they don't deliver on it.
You don't get the payoff.
They don't deliver on it.
Yep.
In this movie, every time they set something up like that, they delivered on it.
Yes.
They knew it was cheesy. They knew it was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
They knew it was silly, but they delivered on it every single time.
Yeah.
They delivered on it by pulling the box apart, and that's when all the entrails spill out. They delivered on it whenever we see old stepdad, douchebag guy get hit by the car.
Yep.
The first time, and then again the second time.
Again.
They deliver on it, even with the old girl whenever she's putting on like the owl stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So another really stupid part of the movie is whenever they determine that the guy who created the banana splits it was working on a fifth banana split, a sister, and it was an owl lady. But for whatever reason, the pieces that he had built so far for the owl lady were like super like steampunk and scary looking
and
wearable by a small woman.
Yes. Yeah.
Compared to these giant animatronic suits of everything else.
Yep. Sequel's just a budget superhero movie. That's what this is gonna be.
So one of the victims dons the Hoot persona. Hootie? I forget.
I think Hootie.
Yeah.
Hootie.
Dons the Hootie persona and then proceeds to enact her own revenge upon the creator of the banana splits for sawing her boyfriend in half. She turns into Owl Lady and starts killing people like Freddy Krueger because she has owl claws on one hand.
Just like a real owl.
But they delivered on it. She
They
finds
did.
this thing, and I look at the screen and I say, put it on. Put it on. She's got to put it on. And she puts on this fucking owl head for some reason.
I think I may have missed the shot of it at first when she was like, "What's this?" And he starts describing it, and I thought this fifth robot's just gonna pop out of nowhere. It's like, "Oh, Frank, Hootie's coming! Watch out!" And it's not. It's just a mask.
Her wearing the mask.
Very wearable gloves for murder. It's just how all the banana splits were designed.
Yep, exactly. So all that being said, it's a 20%. Like, it's not a good movie. It's not even that fun to watch. I give it a thumbs up because of the novelty of the thing, because it's something weird, and we should support weird things so that big studios will pay to let weird things get made.
Yes.
That's an important thing for us to do as humans, or else all we're going to have is Marvel movies and Star Wars movies till the end of time. Yep. And I'm not even here to say that I hate Marvel movies and Star Wars movies. I'm just here to say that if we don't support weird shit like this, these big studios will never take a chance on anything else.
Yeah.
So, thumbs up, 20%.
I love that answer. Is that the lowest thumbs up Nuggets we've ever had?
Maybe.
Okay. Okay.
I'm probably never gonna watch this again, and like I said, I'm definitely not gonna purchase it. It could be a fun, silly thing to watch if it was available to stream somewhere
Yes. Yeah.
on a service that you already pay for.
Yes. I agree with most everything you guys say there. This pick for me was purely the banana splits.
Oh, absolutely.
I loved the banana splits as a kid. Actually, I went to Comic-Con in San Diego in 2018, and, I certainly wasn't thinking about the banana splits, but they had an exclusive pop vinyl set.
Oh.
All 4 characters of the show.
You got that, right?
And I got them.
I've seen that in your house.
And they if you ever go to Comic-Con, they kind of preview. They're like, hey, here's all the stuff we'll have, and they had 1,000 exclusive pops.
Yeah.
And the only ones that stuck out to me were the fudging banana splits. Like, nobody's talked about the banana splits in forever.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard anything. There's not been any like remake shows.
No.
Nothing.
It's not like it's had like a really cool remastered edition that was released or
like
anything.
Weird books or
yeah.
nothing. There's nothing about the banana splits out there since this old TV show. And then it's like, hey, here's some
Remember that thing?
vinyl figures. It's like,
Yeah.
and which is the typical for pop vinyls. Like, hey, remember this thing? And
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I remember this thing. But that one really certainly struck a chord with me, and so I was able to nab up all 4 of them, which is super exciting.
Awesome.
And then the next year they debut a goddamn Banana Splits movie.
I wonder if Pop did another run of the figures because of the movie. They should do some bloody ones now, right?
You would think they definitely kept to the original look in the figures. And if you're a Banana Splits fan, you will certainly notice the variation in the original Banana Splits compared to these updated costumes. But obviously, my biggest gripe with the movie is they're robots. Why are they robots? They're not robots.
Nobody knows.
If anybody watching this ever watched Banana Splits and ever thought, these are robots, please let me know. I'm very curious if you ever thought that, because I never had that inclination at any point watching that show as a kid. But maybe.
It's a strange choice.
And like you said, they just needed to apply something to this idea. And it's like, okay, there's 4 of them. It makes sense. Great. But then
I feel like they still would have had to change that script so much. Like, I'm going back and looking at it, and I'm like, if that was really the case, they had an entire script about Five Nights at Freddy's where it was a TV show, and then they like went to see a live taping of the TV show. Like, there's no way, because that's not what the game, that IP is even about.
No.
Like, it's a restaurant. It has nothing to do with being on TV. So, like, I feel like if that was the true case, they retrofitted so many things.
Yeah.
Why did you have to shove the robot part in? I just don't get it.
And like you were saying, like, they did a lot that seemed to stay true to the show, and it really did.
Yeah.
Even some of like the main stage and some of the decor they had on there, they had like this weird like orangutan head that was always on the wall in the show, and it talked, and it was friggin' weird. It didn't talk in the movie, but it was like,
is there.
They had it, and they had to do plenty of research on the show,
Right.
to know that was there and to fit it to what is the Banana Splits. So I appreciated that portion of the movie. Hated the movie, or the robot part. The thing that killed me a lot too was sometimes they're like dancing on stage with their instruments, and it seems really fluid and like in sync, and like, yeah, we're doing it like people in costumes.
Yep.
And then they start walking across the hallway, and they're like, "I'm a robot lion."
Yeah, I picked up on that too.
I hated that.
I picked up on that too.
Dumb.
It was so awkward.
It was so dumb. But anyway, long story short, I love the Banana Splits. This stayed pretty true and made me feel like I was, getting a taste of that OG Banana Splits. I like the movie. It's absolutely a thumbs up for me. 100%. I do agree. Cody made a comment before he left that this is something that is going to strike people with nostalgia more than anything.
Yeah.
And it certainly does.
It's made for a very specific audience.
But I will also agree with you in the fact that it's a thumbs up for me, but 40%. 40%. Definitely worth the watch. Super fun. Love it. Definitely going to go home and watch it with my wife.
Yeah.
She also enjoyed the Banana Splits as a kid.
There you go.
But no, I won't buy it. I
No.
won't buy it.
No.
Good kills, great fun, good characters. Love the IP, but just not a great.
Well, we didn't even. I guess we didn't even talk about kind of the biggest twist. Old Snorky,
Mom.
old Snorky boy.
Oh yeah.
Ended up kind of being a good guy, and then
Yeah.
gets in a fight with Bingo at the very end of the movie, and it's like this
Yeah.
banana split on banana split action.
And they kill each other.
Kill each other.
Yeah.
He rips
You
out
know-
his beating robot heart.
Something. Ironically, I'm not making this up just for the play of it, but honestly, as a kid, the split that made me the most uncomfortable was Snorky.
Well, you said he was mute.
He didn't speak.
If he never spoke and
He never
everybody else was
said
super happy and stuff, he'd probably creep you out,
He had
right?
those creepy eye, his creepy glasses, and he never spoke. He just made weird sound effects, and I just was like,
Don't like that.
I legitimately thought, I don't like that elephant. But he turns out to be the savior of the movie.
He's the good one.
He's the good one.
He's the good split.
He's the
Him and
good
Hootie.
banana. Hootie.
And
Also,
the
why did she
blowfish.
save them?
I don't know.
I would think she hates them.
I don't know.
Or does she entirely blame Carl?
I don't-
Carl, whoever the guy is that built
Yeah.
them?
I don't know. I think that she has completely lost her mind, and I want there to be a sequel to this movie that is not the banana splits, but it's just her in owl costume killing people as like a slasher villain.
Yes, and she's reprogrammed all the banana splits to help her.
Maybe. They're the Alfred to her Batman.
They're all the Alfred to
Yeah.
her Batman.
They like work the owl cave. The owl's nest, the roost.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. We have a lot of great ideas on this show.
We can do this. WB, give us a call. It'll be better than most of the bullshit that you make, let's be honest. All right, you got any other thoughts on the old BS before we sign off here?
No, go watch an episode of the Banana Splits. The cartoons in that show are hilarious, especially the live action Danger Island. Super funny. Chungo, just watch it. It's super great.
There you go. From a banana splitter himself. You know what? I thought the movie was just okay, but I still think it's worth taking a look at. And maybe that's just me, but for Night Shift Video, I'm James, and this is
Danny.
We're just saying, thanks for stopping in.